Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this sole video, I bring to you a practical step-by-step guide and reminders within them when it comes to the process of redefining and living words, because it all really hinges on the redefining process. Because if your redefinition of a word is too much based on an experiential level, an inner level, it's going to make it challenging and difficult for yourself to really transfer that into real-time moments in your everyday life. An example here, just quickly, a difference, is an interesting case study of an individual who mentioned this recently, where they said that whenever they experience a feeling confused or, not understanding or inferior within them, just before or when they want to ask a question, they just breathe in and out and calm themselves down. And then it resolves whatever they experienced before, whatever came up within them. And then they feel okay. So every time the problem comes up, they just breathe to calm themselves down. Now, see, the problem there is what I pointed out to the person is, what they also mentioned was this only came up with a specific person in their life. So whenever this person would do a particular thing or give a particular task or request, and individual A in the case study has that reaction of not understanding, feeling confused and inferior, and then they just breathe to calm down, to live the word calm. Now, what I pointed out here is this is a really good example of how redefining and living of a word is based on an experience too much. It's not practical as of yet, because that calming is happening only through a breathing, and then they just feel calm. But if I would, for example, ask them, okay, but what would it really mean to live calm? What is calm? What does calm mean for you? How would you be able to apply it? What would you do inside yourself in various contexts to really become that word by choice, by will? Not let's say necessarily using even breath or anything like that, where it's not based on a feeling or an experience. And they kind of went a bit blank. Okay. So what I mean with this is, firstly, it's not going to help when a problem comes up inside yourself and you, for example, just breathe or speak a word over and over again in your head and have a feeling of a word come up. That's not what living a word means. Living a word means the following. I rather gave the individual an example of, firstly, you do need to have a look at what is it about the person, okay, that is creating or triggering those reactions or patterns within you of feeling confused, misunderstood, or like you're not understanding, inferior, those emotions inside of you. That's the first dimension or dynamic that you need to investigate, define for yourself. Who am I? Why am I? Becoming that in that moment with that person. From there, your redefining is essentially looking at, yes, calming. The word calm might initially help as a bridge, as a experience to just settle down your thoughts and emotions. But, it's not doing anything more than that. So you can use calming as a bridge if you want, but now how would you change? What is it? What's the words that you're becoming? Is confused, inferior, not understanding. So a real solution would possibly even be asking that person, can you clarify more? Or telling that person directly, the task you gave me, I am experiencing not 100% clear, but let me just go over what you said again and make sure I'm understanding everything. I know what to do, know exactly what to do. So you see, there's a real interaction with another person, with yourself, looking into the problem. In the moment, looking into what you're experiencing and really looking for a real solution in that moment as to what can resolve that. And what is it about the task? Is it about the person? Is it about the request? Is it about what I'm doing here that's creating that inside of me? All right. So you see that massive difference between having a problem, just breathing to have an experience of calm and then thinking that it's resolved. But then those type of things can happen over and over and over again. And you can forever in your life when you're having those reactions toward that one person, just breathe and calm down. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to that you don't have to go through those experiences again. Or when you do, you know exactly what to do, what to ask, what to say, what to change inside yourself to release, really let go of the issue or the problem that came up inside. All right, so here's just another nice example of the difference between experiencing a word and defining an actual real solution for yourself with people, with things in your everyday life. All right, so let's do a step-by-step guide of your everyday life application to make sure that you remember some of the points to do. Defining, all right? Step 1, defining the problem, defining the issue, defining the experience inside yourself. Now, this is what you can start doing with everyday life things that's going on in your life. Remember, this is what we want to do with soul, is you bring it to you, to make it a part of you, your life. All the people in your life, everything that you're experiencing inside yourself, with others, in the environment that you are, all of it is an extension of you. So what you have to do is bring soul, breathe it in, make it a part of you, and apply it anywhere, anytime, with anyone. All right, so take an example in your everyday life where you have like something of an issue or a problem inside of you. It's creating an emotion and even has a physical effect on you. So in the defining process, ask yourself, what is the problem? What words describe my problem? What is the effect of it on my body, inside myself? Understand, look into, introspect, write out, investigate. Who am I as this experience? And even here, everyone, be careful for the very familiar thought. And I also fell in that trap over and over again, where the thought goes, oh, I don't need to look at it into that much. I already know. And then we just quickly scribble some things. We don't really go deep. We don't really take a moment to slow down, even for 15 minutes, 20 minutes in our day, and really go deep into a point inside ourselves with another person. It's happening at work, where you can realize that at work, suddenly you're sitting at your computer at a certain time during the day and you feel pressured. Heart rate's going up, you feel stressed, your back is going heavy, your whole spine feels like it's carrying a rock, and you go fatigued, tired, exhausted, you're almost like done. So now you're busy investigating that experience. And in your step 1, the defining process, it will be really, really grounding for you to get to know the extent of the effect this mind has on all of you and your body. All right. So it's important in that process to go deep, introspect, because I found that oftentimes when I listen to that thought of, I know already what the problem is, I know already what the solution is, I miss so much information, understanding, and detail of myself. And not only that, but the change process then is oftentimes not real. It's just based on experience. Oh, I generally feel a bit pressured, but, I just decide to breathe and feel this word and become this word and then I'm fine. It doesn't work like that, everyone. That's way too surfaced of a change. Your consciousness is a lot more complex, and you can very easily, in a way, fool yourself by creating such surface experiences of you, of words, and where the change happens apparently really fast. But in what I've walked and seen throughout existence, change, throughout people's existences, people's lives, people's minds, it is complex. So give yourself the time to get to know yourself. There's much to you to get to know. And yes, sometimes it's scary and shocking, but mostly the change process in that's what's fascinating. All right. So now you're starting to get to know the problem, defining it, giving it words, getting to know your body at the same time, and then resolving it. Obviously, okay, finding out what's the issue, how can I resolve it, what's the solution, getting into the redefining process of words. So redefining of words, redefining of yourself would mean, okay, so whenever I go into that stress and the pressure, I can make my life a lot easier on myself, my body. Here comes step 2. Okay, redefining and living. We're going to put it into a 1 point. So we're only going to follow step 1 and a step 2. Because where are we living? In a very busy world. In a very chaotic lifestyle, most of us. And we are literally busy 24/7. So that's why I'm saying, for most of us, fit this process into your everyday life. It's not going to take any time off your hands. So here in step 2, you're redefining and living. Now, with walking into the problem and understanding it more and the effects of it and seeing what's triggering it. And it's usually in that moment, that time of day, you've realized what comes up in you is a projection of what you've done this day and everything that's still ahead. And then you think what you're feeling in that moment, is because of everything that you've done during the day. And you can't wait for what you're going to have to be feeling tomorrow, because of everything that you've got to go through tomorrow. So it's at that moment of transition almost, which is interesting because then you also realize that it's in that moment that you're already starting to build pressure, stress, worry, anxiety for the next day. Like that transfer hopping moment from day to day. And so you've decided to, in that moment, just breathe. Your transition word, you did need a transition word because the emotions and the experiences were getting quite heavy, a bit much, quite chaotic inside yourself. So you just needed a word to get out of it for that moment. So you used the word settle down, relax, slow down. You would breathe, sit in your office chair, and just relax your body. Just do a few little chair stretches, move around a bit. And then instead start planning your next day effectively. Write it down. You're going to go and buy yourself a daily planner. And on that daily planner, at that very time that your mind usually thinks about everything that has to be done in the next day, you go, no. I'm instead going to take all this and put it on this paper and write it all down in this office. And the moment I'm out of this office, that is tomorrow's stuff. I'm getting there and I'll take it one at a time or go through as many as I can. But when I'm out of this office, I'm done. I'm not taking my work experience with me anymore. Because when you could even had a look at, oh my goodness, when I was going into that state in the office, I was taking it to home, to my family, friends, my sleep, everything. So you needed a way to let work be work. And the word that you decided to redefine and live, for example, was organizing. Because that was the word that was missing inside yourself, that you didn't live, that you didn't apply, that you didn't do in your life. that was creating all that pressure, stress, heaviness inside of you. Your head started getting busy with all the tasks, projects, doing this, that. All right, everyone. So here, very nice, simple, practical example of basic, simple, quick things you can do in redefining and living words. And more importantly, to remember what it really means to redefine and actually live the word. Because it wouldn't have helped you, for example, sitting in that office and feeling the pressure and the heaviness and then just breathing and feeling calm. It's not a solution. That would essentially mean that you didn't really look into the problem well enough to really define it, see it, understand it, and resolve it where you could actually live a solution that you could see, that was visible, that changed your experience inside of you and your body. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining in this video, and we'll see you in all the videos to come.